Welcome back to Dark Cinema Recaps, where horror is for life, not just for October. Today, we may possibly covering the worst sequel ever made in horror, The Exorcist Heretic, released in 1977, and following the successes of 1973 counterpart, which is, in everybody's opinion, one of the best horror films of all times. I can see why people got mad about it, and we're also going to continue this franchise's offspring of prequels and sequels until we get to the most recently released Exorcist Believer. But is The Exorcist Heretic the worst ever made? Let's recap and find out. Philip Lemon, a priest struggling with his face, attempts to exorcise a possessed woman in Latin America who claims to heal the sick. However, the exorcism goes wrong, and the woman knocks over the lit candles by setting the place ablaze. A lit candle inadvertently sets fire to her dress, killing her. Afterward, Lemon is assigned by the Cardinal to investigate the death of Father Lancaster Merrin, who had been killed 4 years earlier in the course of exorcising the siren demon Pazuzu from Regan MacNeil. The Cardinal informs Lemon Merrin is facing heresy charges because of the controversial writings, as church authorities are trying to modernize and do not want to acknowledge that Satan exists. Regan, although now seemingly normal and staying with her guardian Sharon Spencer in New York City, continues to be monitored at a psychiatric institute by Dr. Jean Tuskin. Regan claims that she remembers nothing about her ordeal in Washington, D.C., but Tuskin believes her memories are repressed. Father Lemon visits the institute, but his attempt to question Regan about the circumstances of Merrin's death are rebuffed by Tuskin, who believes that Lemon's approach would do Regan more harm than good. In an attempt to plumb her memories of the exorcism, and specifically the circumstances in which Merrin died, Tuskin hypnotizes Regan, to whom she is linked by a synchronizer, a revolutionary biofeedback device used by two people synchronizing their brainwaves. After a guided tour by Sharon of the Georgetown house where the exorcism took place, Lemon returns to be coupled with Regan to the synchronizer. The priest is spirited to the past by Pazuzu to observe Merrin exorcising a young boy, Kukumu, in Africa, learning that the boy develops special powers to fight Pazuzu, who appears as a swarm of locusts. Lemon journeys to Africa, defying his superior, to seek help from the adult Kukumu. Kukumu has become a scientist studying how to prevent locust swarms. Lemon learns that Pazuzu attacks people who have psychic healing abilities. Regan is able to reach telepathically inside the mind of others. She uses this to help an autistic girl speak as she waits to see Tuskin. Tuskin and her staff are shocked, but the girl's mother is too overjoyed to care, and despite Tuskin's attempt to keep them in the office to figure out what happened, insists going home so the girl's father can hear her as well. Father Merrin, who belonged to a group of theologians that believed psychic powers would be a spiritual gift that one day could be shared by all people, thought people like Kukumu and Regan were the forerunners of this new type of humanity. In a vision, Merrin asks Lemon to watch over Regan. Lemon and Regan return to the old house in Georgetown. The pair followed in a taxi by Tuskin and Sharon, who are concerned about Regan's safety. En route, Pazuzu tempts Lemon by offering him unlimited power, appearing as a succubus who is a doppelganger of Regan. The taxi crashes into the Georgetown house, killing the driver, but Tuskin and Sharon survive. At the front of the house, Sharon sets herself on fire. Although Lemon initially succumbs to the succubus, he is brought back by Regan and attacks her doppelganger, while a swarm of locusts deluges the house, which begins to crumble around them. However, Lemon manages to kill the doppelganger by beating open its chest and pulling out its heart. In the end, Regan banishes the locust and Pazuzu by enacting the same bull roar ritual attempted by Kukumu to get rid of locusts in Africa. Outside the house, Sharon dies from her injuries, and Tuskin tells Lemon to watch over Regan. Regan and Lemon leave, while Tuskin stays to answer police questions. And yeah, Yeah, no, that was absolute ass. There was a couple of scenes in The Exorcist II Heretic which I genuinely did like. I mean, the ending was all over the place, so bless it, but there were subtle nods when they were going through the whole synchronizer thing, where you kind of saw Regan's reflection, like, you know how she was in the 1973 film. You kind of saw possessed Regan's and reflections and stuff like that, which was set up really, really nice. But other than that, yeah, it's shit.